Hey guys, good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 17th. It is 6:17 right now. Market's going to open in about 13 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and set up this room real quick, then we'll get started with our session for today. Let's see a couple of things here to set up. Looks like we're good for the most part. Couple other things over here. And I think we should be good to go. All right. Set up. Solid. More things here to put through. And I think we're good. Let me get this link sent out to you guys here in the premium. Looks like we're good to go. All right, I'll give a few minutes for people to make their way in. All right, looks good. Hey, Kenny, good morning. Give it a few more minutes. As people make their way in, I'm going to go ahead and mark up the areas of liquidity right here. And then we can get started with our analysis. And I'm so glad to be back on my actual computer. So hard to trade on that small screen. Hey, Patricia, morning. Morning, David. All right, let's get right here. Let's give it a few more minutes for people to join in. And I think we're good for the most part. There we go. All right, guys. So good morning, everybody. Today is Tuesday, May 17th. It is 6:20 right now. Market's going to open in about 10 minutes. So hopefully everyone had a great weekend. I'm back from vacation, so ready to take these markets in full effect. Finally back on my office computer where it's a lot bigger and there's a lot more room here to do work. So I think it'll be a lot better here. Connection here is obviously a lot better as well. Hopefully there's not going to be some connectivity issues with the charts as we've had for the past couple of weeks. So let's see who's here. Morning, Miles. Morning, Lisa. Morning, Andreas. Morning, Matt. Morning, Kenneth. Morning, Ruin. Morning, everybody. Looks like people are still making their way in. So I'll give it a few minutes for people to join in. Otherwise, we will continue marking up our liquidity meanwhile. Hey, Marlon, morning. Morning, Marco. You go and get this clean chart over here marked up as well. So I did kind of take a quick look at the market this morning. That's some like unusual movement. It looks like price is kind of starting to stabilize. And it's kind of finding its average for the moment. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll take a look at retail sentiment, see if price is starting to kind of fizzle out a bit or if it's going to keep dropping. I mean, obviously it's probably going to keep dropping, but there's a lot of other things that are going on around the world. I'm not sure if you guys saw what happened or what's going on with NATO and whatnot, but we'll take a quick glance at that stuff as well. I mean, with the war going on right now, there's a lot of things going on behind the scenes that, a lot of people are just not aware of. So we'll take a look at that because it's gonna affect the market, obviously. Morning, Zen. Morning, everybody. All right, guys. So just a reminder, today is Tuesday, May 17th. It is 6:22 right now. Market's going to open in about 6 minutes. So as people continue to make their way in, we'll start off with our analysis of the market this morning. I've already marked up the liquidity right here. So it looks like we're pretty much good to go for the most part. with regard to these areas of liquidity. As you guys can see, there's a lot of liquidity on both sides. There's liquidity up here, and there's liquidity down here, right? So what does this tell you guys? When you see liquidity on both sides like this, price will probably go both ways today. Overall, it might come down because I do think it's still going to be bearish overall. But as you guys can see, there's a lot of liquidity on the top side. So with all this liquidity here on the top side, what we can get is a lot of manipulation, because price will probably come up, knock all these out, and then come back down and knock all these out as well. Or it can do the opposite, right? It can do the opposite and it can knock these out first, and then it can come right back up to knock these out, and then it could come right back down, right? So just keep that in mind, guys. There's always going to be a lot of uncertainty in the market, but it's best that you guys kind of understand where price can go. That's really what the whole key is about analyzing the market, right? Of course, price will go back and forth. Of course, price will go one way or the other, but you guys want to keep an eye out for where price may go so that you can have an idea. Like if price pushes up here and our bias is a sell, then you can wait for the price to come right back down, or vice versa. If the bias is bullish, you can wait for price to come down here, and then you can catch that big buy to the upside, right? It's all about anticipation and probability. Like where's the probability of price going? Once we analyze the overall market, we can kind of anticipate where price is likely to go. So you just got to be smart about it, and be prepared so that you're not confused and lost with regard to where to trade, because you should always have at least somewhat of an idea of where price is going to be going. But the problem with a lot of people when they trade is that they have no idea where price is going. They'll think price is going down and they'll think price is going up. They have no idea where price will likely turn from. So just keep that in mind, and we'll start off with our analysis this morning. So let's see who else is here. Morning, David. Morning, Surin. Morning, Maria. Hey, Stephen, how's it going? Thanks, Kenny, for sending me this right here. So let's see. Kenny just sent me live. Congress holds historic open hearings on UFOs. I did see this on CNBC. I don't know what's going on, but I guess there's something going on around the world. CNBC said House Intelligence Subcommittee holds hearing on unidentified aerial phenomena. I don't know what's going on. I haven't been following the news because I've been in Vegas all weekend, but I guess there's like UFOs that have been showing up in the sky. Not sure what's really going on here, but I don't think this will necessarily affect the market. But thanks, Kenny, for sending this over. We'll see where that goes. Anyways, back to what I was saying earlier, guys. Let's start by analyzing the market. It's 6:25 right now, so the market's going to open in about 5 minutes. Let's take a look at retail sentiment. Retail sentiment right now is currently 63% long, indicating that there's 63% of retail traders on the long side who are buying. So if there's this many people buying right now, we obviously want to look for sells because we don't want to be trading with the majority. So with regard to retail sentiment, our overall bias, the big bias is going to be a sell. Tying this with the fundamentals right now are currently very bullish. They're currently 415 points in the green. So with that said, we're going to have a conflict with regard to retail sentiment and fundamentals. So if these two don't line up right here, there's going to be a lot of uncertainty, because when the market does open, people may be following this bullish move and people may buy initially, but overall, we do think price is probably going to come right back down. So what we might see on open is we might see a bullish push to the upside and then a drop right back down. Right. So that's kind of what I'm expecting myself personally. But who knows? We might get the opposite. Price might come down first and then go up. But we just got to make sure that we have those aligned before we start looking for anything crazy, right? Because I'm not trying to hop into a trade and then I get caught on the wrong side of the market because, I kind of jumped the gun. So with that said, there's no overall bias. Retail sentiment bias, long-term bias is going to be a sell. However, short-term bias right now is going to be a buy because the fundamentals here are bullish. Technicals here, there's no obvious clear direction. Price is like right in between the pivots. So price it can go either way. So we'll see what happens shortly. But for now, we don't really have an overall bias in the market. Looking over here, let me make sure there's no news today. Today's Tuesday, 17th. So we had news here at 5:30, and 6:15. All right, so let me just mark that up real quick. We had news over here at 5, which was right there. Let's color that pink. 5:30. and 6:15. All right, I'm gonna go over here real quick and do the same thing. We had news at 5, which was 5 o'clock, 5:15. Make sure I got that right. 5 o'clock, 5:15, and 6. Oh, sorry, I think it was 6:15. 6:15, I think it was 5:39. So we got 5 o'clock, 5:30, and 6:15. All right, so we got that right there. 5, 5:30, 6:15, and then 7 o'clock, we got news coming up. So let me mark that up over here as well. 7 o'clock right there. 6:30. And clock over here. All right, so market's gonna open in about a minute, guys. That news coming up right there at 7. So I got that all marked up right there. 5 o'clock. 5:30 and 6:15. All right, guys, market's gonna open in about 40 seconds. So let's see what happens over here. Hey, Craig, morning. Morning, Lisa. Thanks, Matt, for confirming that. Morning, Professor. Hey, Steven, morning. Morning, David. Morning, everybody. Morning, Sharon. All right, guys. So it looks like majority of you guys are in the room already. Market's going to open shortly in about 20 seconds. We'll go ahead and take a look over here. Steven, the breakout's not really going to be a smooth breakout because we don't have an overall bias with regard to fundamentals and technical fundamentals and retail sentiment, but we'll try to look out for an entry here. So let's see when the market does open right now shortly in about 1 second. So market is now open, guys. With market open right here. Let's take a look at the fundamentals real quick. Refresh this. Fundamentals are currently 393 points in the green. Our retail sentiment is currently 63% long, so we don't have an overall bias. This is going to be a risky breakout with regard to where it ends up going. I'll mark it up for you guys. I'm probably not going to take it because I don't want to risk it, but I will show you guys where it is possibly. So right here, we have a bullish momentum signal. So if we get a strong green candle here, that will be the breakout. However, I do find it to be a bit risky because retail sentiment is bearish while the fundamentals are very bullish. You're going to get a lot of whipsaw movements here back and forth. I don't think it's going to be a clean movement to the upside or clean movement to the downside. I think it's going to be a bit risky, but we'll see. We'll just see where it goes from here. So no breakout off this candle right here. This is going to be opening price right there. So I got opening price marked up right here. There he goes. Price comes back down. It's doing exactly what we anticipated, right? I mentioned price is going to have back and forth movement. It's not necessarily going to be a smooth move to the upside or a smooth move to the downside. Price is coming down right here. If this does close as a strong red candle, this would technically be a sell for the breakout in the direction of retail sentiment. However, the fundamentals here are still very bullish. So you want to be very careful with whatever entry you guys decide to take. If you guys do decide to take the breakout, I'd probably recommend moving stop loss and profit as soon as possible, or even trailing your stop. As you can see right here, price is below. However, it's right at news price. So red flag right there, but if it does close, this would technically be the breakout for a sell. So I'm not going to take it, but I will mark it up for you guys. If anything, I might take it for a partial, trade later, but a lot of red flags right here. So this is technically the breakout, guys. However, one thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that a couple of red flags here. It's at news price and this candle is freaking huge. It's way too big. So it's not one that I would personally take. I'll follow it. This is a breakout though. So I'm marking it up for you guys. if you guys do want to follow it, if you guys are in it, you probably would have had an opportunity to pull out and profit already. But as I mentioned, it's way too risky for me to take myself. I'm not going to take it because it's not really worth the risk. So right here, there's just too many red flags right here. You can see that there's another news price right here as well. So price is dropping, but it is a bit laggy. I mean, if you guys want to take it, maybe take it for partial moves or partial profit, but I do find it to be super risky to take. So if anything, maybe I'll catch it for the last push on the bottom end when it gets close to the last area of liquidity here. But as you guys can see, a lot of red flags. News price, candle's way too big. It's like due for retracement. It's not a good trade that I personally would want to take myself. So I'm not in it, but if you guys do want to take it, or if you guys are in it, I do recommend move your stop loss and profit at the moment, because you never know when it's going to swing back up. Nice. Rick said he made 1,700 and he's out. Smart move, Rick. Rami pulled out too. So Rami hopped in about 100 pips and then he pulled out. Steven over here reached his goal for 1,000 for the day and then he pulled out. Smart move, guys. So you guys are listening, which is a good thing. Because look, if you guys didn't listen to me, prices like swing back and forth close to entry price. So you guys got to pay attention and be aware and understand when it's a risky trade and when it's not. When it's a risky trade like this, yes, of course you can catch some, some slight profit here, but you're really pushing it if you're trying to, if you're trying to go for the full move when price is there's so many red flags here. There's no overall bias, prices at news price, etc. There's just too many things here to really screw up your trade. So smart move. And I saw Sam over here. Sam said caught 200 pips and left. So good move, guys. I didn't feel comfortable with this at all. There's just too many things here pointing in the wrong direction for me to want to take a trade. News price was one of the big things. The other big thing was the fact that there's no overall bias. If the fundamentals and retail sentiment were pointing towards a sell, then I would have taken it and held on to it. But today, there was a lot of things pointing towards why this trade would have been too risky for me to want to take. I'd hate losing trades, guys. So I'm not going to give you guys something that I think is too risky, even though there's a strong possibility that it will hit TP. So great work, guys. If you guys have profit to send in, feel free to send them in, and then we can check them out over here. So it looks like some of you guys did send in your profit. Dell over here sent in his profits, locked in 424, partial profit off that breakout. Nice work, Dell. I think that's it for right now. If you guys have any more to send in, feel free. I think Steven will probably be screenshotting his soon. But yeah, great work, Steven, on your first breakout on your verification. As you can see, price is coming back down, but it's still bouncing around news price. So look where this candle right here wicked off, right off that pink line right there. And there you go. Price comes down further. Oh, what a mess. It's just too, yeah, Maddie says it's too choppy for him. Same with me, Maddie. I'm going to wait for the next trade to come along. I do have the alert set up here. So if it does hit TP, I'll give you guys the update. However, I'm not in the position myself. It's just too risky of a move. I'd rather just wait for something later to come along. So let's take a look at the fundamentals again, if they're still very bullish. Yeah, for the most part. Full TP on the breakout. So if you guys took the breakout, nice work. Full TP for whoever held on to it, or if you took a partial profit. Props to you guys. I couldn't take that trade. It was too risky on my end, but full TP off that. So as you guys can see, the strategies work perfectly fine. It just depends on your risk tolerance, right? If you're okay with taking huge risk, then great. If you're not, then just wait for the next trade. You're not required to take every breakout, but you can see that breakout still worked out perfectly. Lined up with pretty much majority of the requirements here. Bias right here, retail sentiment was bearish. Momentum was a sell. Strong candle on entry, and then full TP. So nice work, guys, for whoever caught it. Melzon over here took the trade here as well, locked in a total of 1,045. His second account over here locked in 956. So a lot of you guys here did pretty solid. I mean, you guys, listened to me and you guys pulled out when you needed to. And his third account locked in 2,000. So he has a little rock dog right here. It's funny because it looks like my dog. If you guys have seen Kodi, you kind of see him right here in this picture. And he locked in a total of about 3,000 across all of his accounts, or more actually, about 4,000 across all of his accounts. So nice work, Melzon. Steven, here, let me post a screenshot here just so that you guys know to pull out, because I know some of you guys will wait for me to give that confirmation before you guys pull out of a trade, which is dangerous. You guys have to pull out when it's time. Here's the confirmation that it's hit TP so that you guys can pull out if you guys are still in it. Today's not the day to get greedy, guys. You guys got to pull out when you need to. So I'll just give you guys a little update there. Because if you guys are still in position, you still have the opportunity to pull out, guys. Don't get greedy right here. Don't try to hold it for too long. Just pull out and then enter the next trade. There's no need for you guys to get greedy right now. So definitely great work right here, Milzon. And then we have Steven over here, locking a total of 1,185. Nice work, Steven. Hit his goal for the day. And I think that's it for right now. Let's see, D over here as well. D said made half my goal, my daily goal on the breakout. So D over here took the breakout as well, locked in a total of 256. Nice work, D. And then we have Twan over here, took the breakout as well, locked in a total of 1,713. Nice work, guys. All you guys did pretty solid today. All right, Steven, we'll see you tomorrow. So other than that, guys, if you guys have profits to send in, feel free to send them in. Congrats to all you guys who follow the directions and pulled out in profit or made full profit. Keep going with this. So check this out, guys. Remember how we started the session and I told you guys there was liquidity on the top side and liquidity on the bottom side. And I mentioned that price was going to hit liquidity on either side initially, right? And look what happened. Price came down, hit all the liquidity right here. And then price may now come, back up, retest, and maybe come down further. The reason why I was more inclined to take a sell here that I would have wanted to is because the retail sentiment was bearish, right? I mean, don't follow this right here. It says bullish, but technically it's bearish by our analysis. So it did play out right here perfectly fine. This is why we draw liquidity in the beginning so that you guys can have, an idea of where price is likely to go. So nice work, guys, for whoever caught that. And there it goes. Price continues to drop lower. I'm going to go and update my liquidity areas over here. Liquidity right there. And then I'm not going to update this one because it's probably going to keep dropping lower. But check this out. We still have liquidity sitting right here. So price might drop even further because there's area of liquidity right there. Not that it will, but it could. I'm just trying to give you guys a heads up that this is where price may be dropping further. So don't just take a sell because you think price is going to drop here. Take a sell if you do see an entry for a sell, but we don't have any entries for a sell at the moment. So let's keep that in mind. Nice, Alexander. Alexander said made 1,800. I'm out too. Thank you, Sean. Definitely, Alexander. Great work, guys. Steven said I'll be back tomorrow. Thanks so much for notifying me to enter. Definitely, Steven. So glad to see that you made your goal for the day. All right, guys. Yeah, big congrats to everybody here who made profit off that breakout. I know a lot of you guys here, that's pretty much, I'll let you guys wait for. You guys just want the breakout, and that's all you guys really need. If you guys have a problem with consistency, the main thing you guys should be focusing on is a breakout in the morning, and then maybe a couple of variations if possible. Steven here has been passing so many challenges, only taking those trades. So just keep that in mind, guys. Over here, let's see, Peter over here. Nice. Peter said, hey, Sean, I'm new to the team. So welcome, Peter. Peter's one of our new members here in K2. He locked in some pretty good profit off the breakout. It looks like he moved your stop loss in profit here. He locked in about 67 and then 82 off this account, and his main account or his main trade here where he hit his TP, he locked in 135. So you locked in a pretty good amount of profit, double dipping into the trade here. So nice work, Peter. I did see a lot of new members here join K2 over the weekend while I was on vacation. So welcome everybody to the team. And this is just the beginning, guys. I mean, if you guys are just joining K2, it's just the beginning of your profits. Just keep up the consistency. Don't get greedy. Just listen to my analysis. When I tell you guys that it's risky, keep in mind that you should pull out of that position early, or you should have your stop loss in profit when possible. But yeah, great work, Peter. Other than that, John over here sent in his profits as well, locked in a total of 2,135. Nice work, John. And you guys are on fire today. Great work, guys. Glad to see a lot of you guys here stacking up It's only Tuesday. It is Trap Tuesday too. So keep that in mind, guys. If you guys are not familiar with like Tuesday market on Tuesday, there's a lot of traps that get set up, meaning there's a lot of fake outs. So like, for example, right here, I could probably expect this to push up for a fake out and then maybe come and like bounce off this area or even bounce off this area over here, opening price, and then come back down, right? There's a lot of area, there's a lot of room for fake outs over here. Tuesday, typically, I mean, it happens a lot actually on Tuesday. That's why people call it Trap Tuesday. You just got to be smart about it, guys. Just wait for like actual entries. Make sure you're trading the direction of the bias. We don't have an overall bias right now, but we do have indications that, you know, overall price will be coming down. Price will likely bounce back up at some point, but I do think it's going to keep dropping. Overall, market's not doing good, guys. I mean, it's, you know, all the inflation going on. A lot of these push to the upsides are just, it's just a lot of manipulation, right? So like you can't see it here too much on the 1 minute, but if you go on the 10 minute over here, you guys can see a lot of the manipulation happening right over here. Price like on Friday gets pushed up and then it just comes back down. So one thing that you guys want to keep in mind is that price is way overextended to the upside right here. There's going to be areas right here where price needs to come back down and correct to. I think the correction point is going to be somewhere around here because this pushed up pretty much yesterday, and then it's just going to correct right back down to where it was, because typically price is supposed to be like rangy around this point. There's no real reason for it to push up like this. If you look at the news in the market, there's nothing good really pushing price up. Inflation isn't helping the market. You know, you just go on CNBC, just look at everything that's going on around the world. There's not really much good going on. You know, Walmart's earnings were missed. There's just a lot of things here not indicating that price should be recovering yet. So overall, I do think price is going to come back down. So there's nothing here off the 10 minute right now. Let me see if there's any possible snipes that we can look for, but I don't think there's going to be anything good, specifically because there's just no, I mean, there's a lot of areas of rejection right here. So let me just mark this up right there. So we do have an area right here for possible snipe. Not a snipe that I would take, but I'm just going to draw that up right there so that you guys can follow it. So going back to the 1 minute over here, possible VD3 right here. However, it's right at the news price, so it's not one that I would really want to take. You know, it's again one of my red flags that I try to warn you guys of. So right here, I know there's a V3 here, but it's not one that I would personally take myself, guys. You know, going back over here, let me just put up the red flags. Like I never take trades around these areas. It's right at news price right here. So this is a V1, it's also a V3. But I do find it to be risky because of where price currently is. It just bounced off the news price. So if you look at my red flags over here, red flag right there, price near news price. It doesn't necessarily mean that price is currently at near news price, but it's bouncing off it. So not one that I would necessarily want to, you know, mess with right now specifically. Oh crap, I accidentally took off my sessions indicator. Let me add that back on over here. Sessions high low. Yeah, my bad, guys. I accidentally deleted the. Yeah, so a couple reasons here why I wouldn't take it. It's at news price. It's also at sessions right here too. Like the TP would have to be past the session. So the reason I wouldn't want to take this is because price get near it doesn't necessarily need to bounce off it. And let's reverse from that point. So thanks, Maddie, for confirming that as well. So typically I won't enter any trades if any of these are near each other. But if there's two of them near each other, I for sure wouldn't enter a trade right here. So price is near sessions, and then it's also near news price. So that's why I wouldn't take this entry right here, even though it is a V1 and it's also a V3. It's too risky. Let's see what else we got over here. Yeah, no, exactly, Maddie. That too. So what I kind of anticipate is for price to retrace up, maybe close to opening price over here, not all the way up there, but somewhere around that area. And then it'll come back down eventually. It's just going to have to retrace, right? This big drop over here. So you can see it better on this clean chart. So I have everything kind of marked up right here. You guys can see this blue line. This is opening price. This is where market open. Right over here, right? Typically when market opens at this point and there's a big drop, it has to retrace up slightly, right? It's going to have to like basically fill this gap right here. So you can see price kind of drop down right here. I expect price to probably come back to somewhere around this area, maybe even back to the opening price, and then it'll come back down. It'll just continue dropping. I do expect it to retrace up a bit because that's typically what the market does. If you get a big drop like this, it'll probably drop a little bit, consolidate, retrace up, and then come back down, or continue pushing up, because you guys got to keep in mind that there's a lot of liquidity here that has not been hit yet, right? So just keep that in mind when you guys are looking at taking entries here. Because if you look closely, I mean, here, let me just draw the new areas of liquidity right here. Price is really just ranging right now. It might be hard for some people to see, but realistically, price is really just ranging. This is not the time to be entering trades, right? When price is ranging, this is where you want to kind of just sit tight and wait for it to break out of the range. So let me turn this back off. You can see it a lot better right here. This is where market open, came down. Price was ranging in this bigger range, and then now it's in this tighter range right here. It's just going sideways. So the thing that you want to look out for is for price to either, break above here, retrace, and push up higher to correct to this area up here, kind of where we're expecting, or you can expect it to break below, retrace, and continue dropping, right? Two different scenarios that can play out, but it's still in a range right here. So you're either waiting for it to push up, retrace, push to the upside, come down, retrace, and come down to the downside. I mean, there's two different scenarios here. I'll leave this up right here so we can come back and see where it goes. But this is basically what I anticipate. There's either two things that can happen at this point. Price will either keep ranging, or three things, I guess. Price will either keep ranging or break above or below. One of two things. Or it'll just stay where it's currently at. So here's the V3 right here, or the V1. If it was a V1, this technically would have hit TP already. Right there. But as I mentioned, it's too risky of a move. Also, if it's a V3, it's still technically running. And there you go, full TP off the V3. So as I mentioned earlier from the breakout, the strategies are still working perfectly fine. Like you could have taken any of these entries here, but it just depends on your risk tolerance, right? If you guys want to be very risky, you guys can take the V1. It would have hit your TP. If you want to take the V3, you could have taken it and would have hit your TP as well. It just really depends on like how risky you guys want to be. I don't want to be risky, and I don't want to give you guys risky entries to think about, because last thing I want for you guys to do is lose it in trades, especially during a risky market like this. So full TP off that for whoever caught it. Great work. I didn't catch it. I'm being very conservative today. It's Trap Tuesday, plus just too many red flags in the market. So let me scroll over here real quick. Just update these areas of liquidity. One right there, and then one down there. All right, solid. Thanks, Lauren. We do have news coming up in about 10 minutes, so we'll be waiting for that. Probably not going to take any trades from now until then. Let's see. 13 said, news price. This is what I learned from this group. Really saved me a couple times from bad trades. Yeah, I mean, it's really key, guys. A lot of people ignore news price, or they ignore a lot of the red flags here. I don't see too many people who have the same red flags, because a lot of people don't identify these specific points. If you guys just look at news price here, whenever price gets near it, you see a lot of manipulation there. When price gets near opening price, a lot of manipulation right there, right? So you guys just want to keep that in mind. Or sessions as well, right down here. I don't know anybody that really follows the sessions like I do. Like I created an indicator just for it, because I don't know anybody that actually follows it. Look where price comes. When it gets near these sessions, you get a lot of fake outs, right? Price will come down, it'll fake out to the bottom side, and it'll just shoot right back up. Comes back down again, fake out to the bottom side, shoots right back up. This is why I don't take trades on these points. It's not worth the risk, because you're technically going to be like, it's like a 50-50 trade if it ends up going your direction or not. I'd rather have, a 60%, 70%, 80% probability versus a 50-50. Night CT said, I took the V3. Went to TP about 1.5 seconds, almost double TP on slippage. Nice for CT. Yeah, it's pretty volatile right now. So we'll see where that goes. Let me check over here real quick and see more profits. Nice, Peter. So Peter here actually took that V3 and V1. So Peter actually he hopped into the trades earlier, those risky ones, and he hit TP again. Full TP off this one, made 14 bucks. Full TP off this one, made it 123. And then another third trade over here made 99. So in total over here, this is Peter's first day with K2. He's locked in about 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, about 600 bucks here. Not bad for your first day, Peter. And yeah, like I said, this is just the beginning for you. Jesus over here, he locked in a profit of 1,513 for the day. His average daily profit is 762. Win-loss ratio is 87% win rate. Weekly profit is 2,433, and his monthly profit is 6,858. Amazing work right there, Jesus. And you guys are killing me. You guys are doing really good today. Craig over here as well. I said profits for the day, phase 2 pass, just need 8 days to pass his minimum. So amazing work right there. Craig is now funded. So Craig, what a change in course for you, right? Craig, before Craig joined K2, he had a lot of issues passing his challenges, and now he's done. You're finally funded, Craig. So big congrats to Craig over here. Getting funded with K2. You've only been with us for like 2 weeks, I think, 2 or 3 weeks. So congrats, another K2 member here funded on FTMO. Yeah, just keep taking your 0.01 trades, open and close it for the next 8 days, and then you'll get your funded account probably by next week, hopefully, or the week after, actually, 7 days from now. All right, solid. Yeah, I see that, Maddie. There's a pending pivot scalp entry over here. One thing that I'd be careful for with these entries, guys, is that price is super overextended, right? Price is kind of far down here. Look, so here's a markup that I drew earlier, guys. Look at the markup down here. We're kind of waiting for this to come up, retest, and then come down lower. I know that there's a pending pivot scalp right here, but I do find it to be a bit risky. This candle here is too big. Again, back to the red flags. Candle prior to entry is too large. So I know this is a pivot scalp entry, but the candle here is way too big. So I'd probably wait for it to pull back a little bit, maybe going for a late entry if you really wanted to. But I do think this candle here is just way too big. So I'll mark this up here for a pivot scalp entry, but I do think it's a bit risky because this candle is too big. It's probably gonna have to retrace up maybe halfway, maybe the full candle. If it retraces to the full candle, never mind, it went straight to TP. So for whoever caught that, that was a pivot scalp entry. I didn't cash it. This market is just it's moving too fast right now. You guys have to be really on point. If you guys are like, you guys either have to be fully in it or fully out of it. For me, I've been fully out of it because it's just too risky on my end. But if you guys took this pivot scalp right here, you can see it literally spiked right through the TP. And hopefully if you guys did take it, you took it with a TP because now it's pushing back up, right? You guys can't get greedy with these entries here. So this was a pivot scalp entry. We confirmed the overall bias was, well, there was no overall bias for sell, but it was a sell. And then valid signal. It was below the pivots. The trend meter also over here was red for an extra confirmation, and then it went straight to TP. So I'm gonna wait for a safer one, just like Dee said. Yeah, she said I was gonna get in on the retrace, but it was too fast. Yeah, and don't re-enter the trades, guys. If you guys miss the trade, just skip it. Wait for the next one. Because if you enter late like this, look at this huge retracement. This is kind of what I was anticipating and why I didn't want to enter the trade right away. So great work, guys. I mean, whoever's catching these moves, great work. This is why it's important that you guys know the strategies here so that you guys can anticipate the moves. You guys don't necessarily have to wait for me to call them out because you guys already know the trades are coming. And there goes the retracement right there. So going back to my drawing over here, you guys can see that it's coming back for the retest, right? This is the confirmation that you're looking for. You had price break below. You can see right here, I drew this line to the green line right here. There goes a retest. Now you want to confirm that it drops lower. If it confirms, and it's probably going to keep dropping even further. But yeah, I mean, everything here is kind of lining up perfectly as we anticipated. It's just going to be a matter of confirming the direction. So also there's a snipe that's pending right here too on the 10-minute. This is one that I might be okay with taking if it does close below. Yeah, thanks Patrick for confirming that. However, it will close near the sessions and it'll also close at news because we have news at 7 and this candle here will close at that time exactly. Yeah, thanks Chris for confirming that. Yeah, Chris said news in 3 minutes. So let's see where this goes. All right, so you can see price here is swinging back above. We'll see where it confirms. I mean, if price does end up closing above this line, then this pattern here is not going to confirm, right? Because look at this right here. This is kind of what you were looking for. If he doesn't confirm the rejection off the green line and drop further, then this pattern here doesn't even line up. It's just going to pull back right back into the range over here, right down the middle. So nothing really for us to take at the moment. Other than that, if you guys have more profit to send in, feel free, but I'm just going to be playing it safe right now. It's not really worth the risk. Also with the news coming up right now in about 2 minutes. Just want to be a bit careful. All right, let me take a look at the fundamentals real quick. It's still very bullish, so I'll be a bit careful. Yeah, Maddie said I'm gonna wait for the reverse till after news. Me too. All right, guys, I'm gonna step away for 1 second. I'll be right back. All right, guys, I'm back. So news just happened right here. Let me check the news real quick. I think it was bullish probably. News right here at 7 o'clock was bearish actually. So news was bearish. Price did push up a little bit. So maybe this is a manipulated push to the upside. So this is why we don't trade news. Typically, you're going to get one of two different moves when news happens. When news happens, it's either going to go in the direction of news or it's going to be manipulated to the opposite direction. Right here, news was negative. The price pushed up right here, right? So this is kind of what I expect happening. Manipulate, push to the upside, correction back to the downside, right? So I wouldn't chase that buy there. I think price is going to come back down. It's obviously just going to push up temporarily. What might happen is price may reject off this point and come back down. And that's kind of what's happening right here. Or price might push up higher and reject off this point, right? So this is why we don't trade during news. We just wait and then we see how price reacts to the news. And then from there, we'll start to make our move. Right here, I think price can come back down. It might not come down right now, but eventually I do expect it to come back down. It's just one of the typical traps that people get caught in. If you're trading news, you're basically gambling because there's no way to really predict it, but you'll kind of see a pattern play out. So let me go over here as well. I'm gonna go and mark up news price there. And we'll see where that goes from here. So other than that, let's clean this up a little bit. We'll just identify if there's another range. And then from there, we can kind of confirm if price is going to break to the upside or to the downside. But I think right now, it's not really much to confirm. All right, so nothing right here. Let's see, Duggan said over trading like a MF for today. Made a rookie mistake early, nearly 9K loss in 1 minute, back to 11K in profits, over 20 trades in 5 hours. Catch you, good night. Definitely, Duggan. Maybe it's time for you to probably step away now that you're in profit. And then come back when you're ready to stop over trading. Over trading could be a really good thing, a really bad thing, guys. So just be careful with that. Here we go. As price starts to come back down, it looks like it's going to create another range. So what I expect happening right here is price might bounce around this area. It'll probably create a low at some point, and then it'll just range sideways, right? Nothing crazy here, just typical back and forth range. Right into 3-minute daily is a buy. Gotcha, John. Yeah, I'm not really going to mess with 3-minute. I'll look at the 5-minute, but yeah, John said there's a 3-minute buy that's pending right now. I don't even have my 3-minute candle chart open anymore. Let me see if I can open that. Yeah, so there's a pending 3-minute buy right here. I mean, not pending, it is official, but not necessarily one that I would personally take myself. If you guys are familiar with the daily entry, this is technically the 3-minute, but it's not one that I would personally take myself. The main reason I wouldn't really want to take a buy here, guys, is because my not overall, but my long-term bias is to sell. So with the retail sentiment over here so strong for a sell, I personally don't want to trade in that direction. One reason that it might push up slightly is because the fundamentals are so bullish right now. So not to say that price won't push up and hit its TP, because it might. It's not one that I would personally take because it goes against like pretty much my analysis here. So not to say that it's not going to hit, but it's not one that I would personally want to hop into and kind of be sweating about, because it is going against my analysis. Plus, there's a lot of red flags here. Bunch of news price right here, where price can easily just bounce off it. You guys kind of see right here, the past 5 candles basically had, the biggest trouble trying to get past this news price right here. About 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 candles right here. Having issues trying to get over it. I know, Maddie, right? You're looking for that one, a 30-minute. Oh, it's crazy. Grammy said, my chart looks super messy with all this news. Yeah, I know, same here, Grammy. There's a lot of news right here. So I'm not even looking to take any trades around this area, even this area right here, or this area, because these are all my red flags: opening price, news price, news price, news price, news price, and sessions right here. It's just a lot of news this morning. You can see where a lot of these fake outs are happening. Those are like one of the main red flags that I look out for. So definitely not looking to mess around this area right now. Let's see, Matthew said 5-minute. Oh gosh, okay, Matthew. Yeah, it's invalid because it's like pointing the other way. But I could see that. I know it was green earlier, but it's no longer green now. So here we go. As price starts to come back down. If you guys remember my analysis from earlier, I mentioned the news prices right here. Price pushed up. I said that this was a manipulated push to the upside and price was going to come back down, right? And that's exactly where it's going right now. It's coming right back down. So as you can see, news earlier was bearish. Price pushed up. It's just a fake out to the upside to basically lure in some buyers. And the price comes back down to stop everybody out. So this is why I typically want to trade in the direction of retail sentiment, right? Because even though the fundamentals are super bullish, they're up 359 points, price is still dumping. So this is why I always go with retail sentiment first. That's always going to be my main confluence. For the fundamentals, are good for short-term moves, but you know, these long-term pushes over here, I'm definitely going in the direction of retail sentiment. So here goes, price starts to drop lower. Here you can see that it created a low. So here's the new range. I'll go here on the clean chart. It's easier to see. Here's now the new range. See how price pushed up, came below, established a low. Now it's going to go sideways from this point. So now that we have this range set up, same thing, right? You're looking for price to either break below, retest, and continue dropping, or you're going to wait for price to break above, retest, and continue climbing. Two scenarios here. Price is going to range right now for a bit. When it breaks out of the range, that's where you can confirm the direction, either to the upside or either to the downside. The reason why we have to do this is because there's no overall bias. If the fundamentals are red, then great, we're only looking for sells. If the fundamentals are green and retail sentiment was short, then great, we'll look for some buys. But right now we don't have that. So that's why we kind of have to anticipate, you know, where's price likely to go. So I'll keep this marked up here on the clean chart. We'll come back and look at it when this is confirmed. Otherwise, you know, we're just going to keep looking for any possible entries here on the markup chart. But there isn't really much of anything to take right now. This technically could be a another pivot scalp, not one that I would personally want to take myself because it's right at the sessions. So I'll mark that up right there. Possible pivot scalp entry, just like we had earlier, but another big red flag over here. That price is right next to the sessions, price near sessions. When to avoid trades when price is near the sessions. So I'm basically just waiting. Yeah, just like what D said. D said I'm waiting for it to get below that New York session. So it's now currently below it. It's really now confirming that it's going to be past it, like a little farther below, because it's still near the sessions right here. So we'll have it marked up there. We'll kind of follow it, but it is a bit risky. Let's see where it goes. Got to see how it closes in the next couple minutes or so. About 20 seconds left on it. Thinking about maybe getting in a little early. Go for a speculative move here because I do think it's going to keep dropping. It's just a matter of, you know, confirming it. Lisa's asking if anyone's FTMO is freezing. Not mine specifically. I do see that it looks okay. I mean, it is kind of laggy, but it is a little laggy though, at least I can tell that for sure. Let's see. I was trying to catch this for a little push earlier, but the thing never closed. Kind of lagged on my end. So let's see if this here closes. The price movement here is kind of off. Yeah, I'm not sure if anyone else is freezing. It's kind of laggy though, just a little bit. Not a crazy amount, but it is. So the pivot scalp never closed, guys. It's we need that sell signal to close below with the red candle in order for it to establish as a pivot scalp. let's see. Price is coming back up, retesting the sessions right here. So we're still waiting for it. See if it closes. Let's see, 13 said that's my Q. I'll be back tomorrow. I didn't hit my target for my challenge today, but I still got 28 days. See you guys. Thanks again, Sean. Definitely 13. So we'll see you tomorrow. You can see the market is kind of, the volatility is kind of died down a bit. So, and we're starting to get like these random spikes of volatility. Just trying to wait for this to close here. It hasn't closed yet. It's still bouncing around. Yeah, I was trying to see if we could get that close for the signal. Haven't gotten it yet, but let's see where it goes from here. But it's still around that point. So that same point that we were just talking about earlier. So see where it's around the sessions, guys. You get a lot of manipulation here because price will close below. People will think it'll probably drop further, but it just swings back and forth. The second retest of the sessions over here. Thanks, Maddie, for confirming that. Second retest, we'll see if it actually closes. I mean, if it actually has the signal. Below this point. Let's see. So this is exactly why I wouldn't have taken the 3-minute daily. It's going against the bias here. Let me see. There's actually no snipe here because there was no there's no rejection off the structure. I don't know if there's any other structure here. Structure is way up here. So no snipe here off the 10, unfortunately. See this over here. Still no close right there either. Or no signal actually. So we're still waiting for it. Not really much here. It's just a matter of patience or a matter of waiting for anything to really happen. There's no entries that are available yet, guys. So just FYI, if you guys are looking for any entries right now, there's nothing for us to take. There could be a possible, if this establishes a high, there could be a possible V3 here that could be coming up, or even a V1. But there was never a close here for a pivot scalp, so I'm gonna take this off. Again, right here, it's just bouncing around the area. Nothing to really take at the moment. But again, it's just right at the sessions. V3 on the 5. Oh yeah, there's technically a V3 on, oh no, there's no V3 right now. I do. In order for there to be a V3, there needs to be a pending sell. So there's the sell signal is right here. There's no pending sell. So no V3 right there on the 5 right now. Then again, it's right at the sessions. Oh man, there's no entries available. Pretty much just waiting for something to come up, but there's nothing to take right now. Yeah, Maddie said possibly a 10-minute snipe over here. If this comes below here and closes, rejection off the pivot. If it closes as a red candle, basically, there may be a snipe that may be available right there. So see where it goes from here. It does close below. This just needs to close. So basically, if this closes as red candle, it's going to be a rejection off the pivot, rejection off the structure, and then it'll be below the sessions as well, which will provide for a snipe entry. So see where it goes from here. Currently, nothing for us to take or look at the moment. Price is right at the sessions again. So this is exactly what I was, this is why we consider this a risky area, because when price gets around the sessions, it just bounces around, right? There's a lot of fake outs. Price can come down, it can go up and come down. There's just no clear identification whether it's going to, dump or push to the upside. Yeah, same here, Maddie. I'm watching it. Watching the snipe right here. If it does close below, it's still got a couple minutes left on it though, so we'll have to see where it closes. Because if it does close below there, Maddie, we do have some space. It just needs to close properly. The only red flag here would be that it's at the sessions, but I do think it'll probably drop a little bit. So let's see. And there we go, as price pushes up higher. So still hasn't closed right there. Guys, basically the entry that we're looking for at this point is a snipe entry. So you want to confirm the overall bias. There's no really strong overall bias, but long-term bias can be a sell because of retail sentiment. We're confirming a wick rejection off the K2 pivot. If it does reject off here, this candle needs to close below here. We would get a rejection off the pivot, rejection off the structure, and this would confirm a snipe entry because we'd be trading in the direction of momentum. So it's not looking so good right now, Maddie, but who knows? We still got a whole minute left, so this can just drop in the next minute. So we're waiting for that there. I'll just leave this around there. I'll cover it because there's no entry available yet. 5 minute over here. There is nothing to take off the 5, nothing off the 3, and nothing off the 1 right now. Yeah, there's literally nothing. Price is just ranging now. So if you guys can see here, the range is getting tighter. So this is the high and this is the low. Here's the tighter high, tighter low, and the low here just got established again. So the squeeze is just getting tighter. The more that price starts to squeeze down to the middle right here, and that it continues to range, it's just preparing for a breakout, right? Something to keep in mind. Whenever price starts squeezing like that, it's just prepping for that breakout to happen. So yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to close below, Maddie. We got about 10 seconds left on this candle, so I'll just delete this for now, or I'll delete this actually. We need a rejection off the pivot, rejection off the structure. Doesn't look like we're getting it off this candle, so no snipe right there. So nothing here off the 10 yet. Still nothing right here either on 1. All right, so let's see if this pushes higher. Rejection right off that high and off the news price. So you guys can see where these 2 candles rejected directly off the pink line and the high right there. Well, more so the pink line. It's really where it really rejected off. It's kind of pushed slightly above it and then came back down. All right, so not really too much going on right here. Let me see if there's anything else here that I'm missing. All right, scrolling down. Let's see, Craig said Friday's trading and today. So here's Craig's profits on his account over here for his verification. These are the trades he took with us on Friday, trades that he took with us on today and Monday. So overall, he locked in a total of 3,765. I'm assuming these are euros. And he did pass his verification here. So nice work right there, Craig. So just waiting for you to get your funded account. Harry over here, nice. So Harry over here said 100K phase 2 pass. So we have another member at K2 over here, just got funded. So nice work right there, Harry. His 100K, he passed his verification. So it looks like you're going to be funded shortly, Harry. So we got about 3 or 4 people here who just passed their challenges and got funded. So great work, Harry. Great work, Craig, and a couple other members here. Sorry if I missed your name, but big congrats to everybody over here. Seems like every day there's someone passing their challenge or getting funded in K2. So the real challenge starts now, guys. Once you guys are funded, you guys got to stick to your game plan, right? You guys can't just go and do your own thing. You got to keep doing what you were doing to get funded so that you guys can get that first payout, get that refund, and then start stacking up those profits. I see too many people who get funded and then So this is what happens, like, and I hate to see it happen. A lot of people will join K2, they'll get funded, and then they'll think, okay, I know what I'm doing now. So they leave K2 and then they blow their funded account. What happens? They come back to K2 the month after, and then they're just in the full cycle all over again. So guys, whatever you guys did to get funded, continue doing that. If you guys were following my analysis to get funded, continue to follow my analysis. If you guys are taking the strategies, continue to do that. You know, don't get too overly confident just because you guys got funded, because the real challenge is staying funded. It's easy to get funded. It's hard to stay funded. So just keep that in mind, guys. Thanks, Maddie. I did see the pivot scalp here building up, but it didn't close. So unfortunately, no pivot scalp off that. Delete that. Yeah, Brock said, have recently been in that cycle, still working my way up. Yeah, no, definitely, Brock. I see it happen to so many people, right? You guys got to continue what you're doing, right? I see too many people change up their trading plan as soon as they get funded or as soon as they pass a challenge. You know, a lot of people get too overly confident, think that they know what they're doing, but then they end up blowing it also. You know, I'm on your side, guys. I want you guys to stay funded. I want you guys to keep getting payouts. I want you guys to stay consistent. It's just really up to you to follow the directions and continue to succeed in this, because it's a grind. You know, just because you guys get funded doesn't mean that you're done. You gotta stay funded, and you gotta keep your profitability up consistently. Let's see, Craig said, thanks, man. I thought this was 2 days, forgot it was Tuesday. So 3 days of trading for verification. Yeah, nice work, Craig. Yeah, just keep it up, take a 0.01. There is a V3 right here, guys, but it's right at the, I mean, not a V3, there's a pivot scalp, but it's right at the, see if maybe I can hop into it. The problem with this here is that it was right at the sessions. I gotta see if I can maybe get into it late. See if I can push down below. It's kind of too late to enter. If you guys aren't in the position, I don't recommend entering it. It's kind of too late to enter at this point. If you guys are in it and you guys are still like holding on, you probably want to close out in profit soon. These moves are happening is way too fast, guys. I tried to enter this myself. I cut it in again. I missed it, unfortunately. These spikes just happen too fast. You have to be like right in it as soon as it comes in. But yeah, this strategy right here that we're looking at is the pivot scalp. So this one right here, you like literally have to be waiting for it to happen. Yeah, it is what it is. I missed it again. It's okay. It's all good. So hopefully if you guys entered it, don't enter late. So if you guys see it hit TP already, don't enter it late, because if you guys enter it late, you're going to get caught in this drawdown. So unfortunately, again, I missed the trade, but it's okay. It was also a triple. Oh no, it wasn't a triple. It had to close below this line right here, Madhu, in order for it to be a triple. It was just a pivot scalp. Yeah, no, Mauricio. So that's what happened to the person that preferred me to K2. Thought they knew it all and lost all accounts. Yeah, I know it happens all the time, guys. And it's really unfortunate. I see a lot of people struggle with trading. They come to K2, they pass their challenge, they get funded, or they find some consistency and they think that they know it all, and they go do their own thing. They end up blowing all their accounts. So I want to make sure that you guys stay consistent. And you know, it really is a long-term grind, guys. Like every day the market is a little different, and you got to understand when to make adjustments. So Madhu said, here, let me go back to your question here, Madhu. So I don't see any. Okay, so here's the first thing, Madhu. This is the one that we were looking at right here, right? There's no triple confluence because this candle has to close below here, right? And this one over here, there's no triple confluence because this candle right here already invalidated it. It already wicked below it. So in order for it to be a triple confluence, the candle needs to close below the low with the sell signal, right? It didn't close below it here because it already invalidated on this one. For this one, it didn't even close below it. So there's no triple on either of them. Other than that, I mean, yeah, it would have been nice if it was a triple confluence, but it wasn't. I mean, either or, if it did close below, it still would have hit the TP right there on that point. Price is still dropping here. It's moving the direction of the bias, not the overall bias, but the retail sentiment bias, which is typically what I try to aim for. So yeah, no problem. I know it's kind of confusing because sometimes you guys miss the little wick there that invalidates it. But that's really the discipline there. It's really waiting for it to actually come through. But the triple confluence is a great trade. I think that's one that I would always take if I see it, no matter what direction, because it just always hits. It comes up very rarely, but when it does come up, it almost always hits. Nice, Maddie. I just saw your message right now. Let's see. iPhone's a triple confluence. No triple confluences right now, unfortunately. Nothing at the moment. All right, guys, so check this out. Look at the markup that I did earlier, right? So see right here where it confirmed it. We had price come below here and it retested right here, right? So price came below here. It retested right here and then it kept dropping, right? So you guys see how the pattern played out? I already drew this. I knew it was going to happen because I was like, okay, price is either going to go above or it's going to go below. It came below, retested, and look where price is now. So I don't draw these drawings for no reason. I draw these drawings because this pattern always plays out. It's like, if you don't know what direction price is going, if you don't have a strong bias, you can draw one of these when price is ranging. And when it actually plays out, it actually keeps dropping. So just keep that in mind. I just left this up here to show you guys that it would actually play out, and it did. Broke below here, retest, came back lower right here. And look where price is now. Now we have the bearish bias. So this is why I was more inclined to take a sell here, because this pattern here played out. We were pretty much just waiting for it to play out, and it did. So great work to whoever caught the profits right there off the scalp, the pivot scalp, or whatever you guys were following. You know, if you guys have more profits to send in, feel free to put them in, and then we will add them to the list. Man, this thing's waterfalling pretty heavy right now. And look where price went down to. You guys see the liquidity right here? So if you guys go back and rewind the replay from the beginning of the session, I mentioned that price was going to hit liquidity, right? Either from the top side or from the bottom side. It hit all liquidity here. It's now at this area of liquidity. Last area of liquidity is going to be below here. So just keep that in mind. If price keeps dropping, it's probably going to drop to the next levels. We don't draw these levels of liquidity for nothing. Like they're there for a reason, because we do expect price to come to those points. You know, everything that I draw on the chart, guys, there's a reason for these lines here. These lines are just not some random lines. I see people draw random lines on screen all the time, and I'm like, what do they even mean? But we draw them here for a reason. So there we go. It hit this level of liquidity right here. It's probably going to keep dropping lower. Or it might not. Who knows? Because we still have all of this area of liquidity above here, right? There's a lot of liquidity up here. But you got to keep in mind that there's also liquidity down here. So maybe it'll wipe out the rest of the liquidity here, and then maybe it'll come right back up and then knock out all that liquidity. Nice. Let's see. Madhu said caught that invalid V3 on 5 minutes. Let's see. Talking about this one right here, Madhu? Or are you talking about, I'm assuming you're talking about this one right here, right? It was like invalid because, yeah, so Madhu caught this right here. This is the one that Madhu was talking about. So I know sometimes people kind of miss the fact that you're supposed to look for this right here, which it happens sometimes, right? Don't like, people make mistakes, but sometimes the mistakes still play out. Madhu kind of saw this as a variation right here. He forgot to notice that there was no pending momentum, but a lot of times if the momentum is already pushing, it'll just keep dropping. So the trade that Madhu took right here was this one, and he caught that for a full TP, 850 pips. So nice work right there. Sometimes you guys will make mistakes, but the strategies will still work. This requirement wasn't an original requirement. So technically in the past, you didn't have to look for this requirement. So that's why it's still hit. It's just that it's a lower probability trade. The reason I added this requirement here was to give you guys higher probability, right? I want you guys to take trades that are like almost always going to hit. Like I want you guys to have a very high win rate. so that you guys can, actually win almost every trade. Madhu took it here. This is basically the old strategy of the V3, and it played out perfectly. So nice work, Madhu. But yeah, Madhu, you've been here for a while, so you know that this wasn't a requirement back then, and that's why it still played out perfectly fine. But you guys should always follow all the requirements. There's a reason why I added the requirements, but sometimes you'll miss it and it'll still work. So other than that, let me see if there's anything else here. It's 7:32 right now. I want to see if there's any other entries for me to take at this moment. There's no snipes available right now because there's no rejection off any pivots, unfortunately. There's not going to be a daily entry because we already have a sell signal here. No V3s because we have a sell signal there as well. No V3s off the 5, no V3s off the 3. Nothing here off the 1 either. So it looks like a lot of these trades here have already played out, unfortunately. I mean, we'll see if we can find something, but right now, it's not really too much. Vincent over here, so he said made it back from negative 2K. So Vincent over here made a couple losses over here, unfortunately, but he made it right back. So he was up and then he kind of dropped down a bit because he had a couple losses, but then he bounced right back. Over here, these are all from today, Vince. Yeah, it looks like Vincent kind of went both ways. So like over here, he was taking buys. He probably should have avoided the buys. It's all good. It happens. You just took some trades there that didn't play out perfectly. But it looks like when you started trading the direction of the buys, because I see your sells over here, they start stacking up a bunch of wins. This is why I try to trade in bias. So Vince over here took a bit of a risky trade for a buy, ended up taking a couple losses, started trading for sells here, and he bounced right back. So nice recovery right there, Vince. That's the real key here, guys, is being able to recover from those losses, right? I see so many people take losses and then they just give up. Vince over here didn't give up. He came right back. He's in profit 130. Could have been a lot more profit, but it's all right. You made it right back. Anelli over here, here's the profits from that V3 he took, locked in a total of 9,790. Nice work, Madhu. So it was a smart move because Anelli here Madhu had a big stop loss, so he could have just withstand the drop there that was going to happen because we did expect it to come down. So he just held on to it, hit his full TP, full profit of nearly 10,000 off that one trade, which was this V3 here on the 5-minute. Yeah, right here. So solid work right there, Madhu. Yeah, it's a big move. This is why I kind of like trading on the 5 and 3-minute because it's typically a nicer move. It's a bigger move and it's a little less stressful because you kind of have an idea of like where price is going, especially in the longer moves because we have the longer bias. Looking at the retail sentiment, Charles over here sent his profits as well, locked in a total of 4,317. Nice work, Charles. Joshua over here as well sent in his profits. He locked in a total of 517 off this account. And then 119 off this account right here. So nice work right there, Joshua. Maddie over here as well. Took the trade over here, locked in a total of 327 off the pivot scalp. Total profit of about 300 right here off this account. Second account locked in 438. Looks like he kind of got in a little early on the other one, so it's all good. He still made profit overall. And then his third account over here made 420 off of that one right there. So nice work, guys. Nice work, Maddie, Charles, Joshua, Nelly, Vincent, everybody. Yeah, no, exactly, Maddie. It's all good. Everyone makes mistakes. So the thing is just learning from mistakes, guys, and bouncing back from it. That's really what's key. The last thing you want to do is get into a hole and get stuck in that hole and just keep digging a deeper and deeper hole. That's the worst part. And I'm sure that's happened to you guys a lot of times. You guys start to revenge trade, you guys start to overtrade, and then you just keep going deeper and deeper into that hole. It makes it like impossible for you guys to get out of it. All right, so price is dropping further. You guys remember where I drew the line earlier? All right, so you guys see right there. Hit liquidity. Another area of liquidity right here. Price might bounce off the session, so. So there's two areas where price might bounce from: the sessions or liquidity below here. So there we go. As price drops lower. So again, guys, the reason why we're looking for sells here is because retail sentiment is 64% long or 65% long. You never want to trade with everybody else. If everyone's buying, you want to do the opposite. You want to sell. Some people will never get this, right? I'll keep telling everyone to do the opposite of everybody, and people will still trade the direction of everybody. I mean, it's you never want to trade where everybody's trading. It always blows my mind how people do that. They try to chase the wave that's already passed. Fundamentals here is still green, but I don't really care about this. It's like short term. Looking at the long term move here, I'm looking for a sell. There just isn't any trades for us to take, unfortunately. I'm trying to take something here, but there's nothing off the 1 minute for me to take. You know, obviously we can take speculative sells here, but I'm not looking to take any of those. I'm looking for actual official entries. Same with the 3 minute over here. We don't see anything over here. 5 minute, nothing over here either. 10 minute, nothing really over here either. You know, what I might start doing is I might start drawing areas of liquidity on these higher time frames, because they still work. I mean, you guys can mark up liquidity on any time frame, and it still works perfectly fine. You know, I can probably even do that right now. It's not going to take very long. So we got liquidity sitting in a lot of these areas. I mean, if you guys here on the 10, you guys can see there's a lot of liquidity here on the 10 minute. So we could probably expect price to come dropping even lower. I just try to keep a clean chart, but if you guys like having liquidity there on the higher time frames, you know, I could probably draw this stuff. Yeah, exactly. Mauricio. Yeah, Mauricio says Sir John Templin, look at what everyone else is doing and do the opposite. It's exactly what we're doing here. Yeah, Kevin said that's what I do. I mark up liquidity on the higher time frames because it's a stronger confirmation of price is going. Yeah, I might as well do it since I have these charts open. I don't know if you guys really care if the chart's kind of messy or not. I personally don't care because I like seeing where price is likely to drop to. So I'll probably just draw these up just for reference. I know it's a bit more work and charts look a little messy, but I think this will help us a lot more, especially if we're trying to catch like the bigger moves, because that's typically where pricing to go. And if it looks too messy, just let me know, guys. We could do a poll to see if people like this or not. And if the charts are just too messy for you, we can take them off. I just want to see what the majority here prefers. Because I personally don't care. I think it helps a lot to identify where price is going. I'm still debating if I want to keep the 3 minute on here. I'll leave it on here for now. I know we took it off for a bit because we don't use it too much, but I'll leave it up for now just so that we have this for reference. All right. Yeah, Joshua said load it up. The more data we have, where price is likely to go, the better. Yeah, no, and I agree too, Joshua. We'll just leave it up there. It's better to have because we pull up these charts anyways, like the 10 minute, like for example, right here, the 10 minute looks like it can drop even further at this point below here. It's basically doing what I did earlier. So if you guys remembered my analysis from earlier, I was talking about how price kind of was manipulated to the upside right here during London session. I was like, okay, price is probably gonna have to get back to this area right here, because this is where price is. This is like the average. It's around this area. So it's pretty much correcting back to where we were anticipating. Oh, man. Stupid cold. Rami said take a spec of sell to the sessions. Nice work, Rami. So Rami actually took this trade here. He took this trade and he just wrote it down to the next area of sessions below here. So nice work there, guys. I'm glad to see a lot of you guys here are like understanding how to analyze the chart off my own analysis, right? Because you can kind of just anticipate where price goes. So like, check this out. You guys can see the sessions is right here, right? Typically, where does price bounce from session to session, right? So from here, it pushes up to this area, right? And then Rami did the same thing. He basically anticipated price to break below the sessions and then push to the next area of sessions. Now that price is below this sessions, if it continues to drop lower, where do you think price is going to go? To the next sessions, right? So glad to see a lot of you guys here, like you guys are putting 2 and 2 together. You know, the analysis here can vary, but typically you guys kind of have an idea because these K2 indicators give you, it basically gives you guys the structure that you guys are looking for. A lot of people don't know where to look, but if you guys have the K2 indicators right here, it pretty much points out like, hey, price is probably going to drop from like, you know, this point to this point down here. And from this point to this point down here. Because it's very useful. I mean, if you guys use these tools here that I have for you, you can catch these pretty big moves if you're going for those longer term pushes. You know, maybe we'll have to create a strategy for that session to session or something similar. Other than that, I don't really see anything here. There's nothing on the 1 minute. There's nothing on the 3 minute. There's nothing on the 5 minute. There's nothing on the 10 minute with regard to actual entries. We do expect price to keep dropping, but there's just no actual entries here. So here we go. So guys, check this out. This is where I drew price earlier, right? It's going exactly to where we anticipated. Price broke below the liquidity here. Price is now dropping to this next area of liquidity. And then maybe we'll get a bounce from that point. So everything's playing out perfectly like we anticipated. This is kind of, I don't know, it's kind of enticing me to take these bigger moves because just looking at like where there's a lot of places we could have entered. Like for example, right here, just watching these price break below the sessions and then retest, I think you can catch like pretty big moves from that point. I could kind of figure out a strategy right here as well. I got to play around with it. There's trying to think. I could kind of see how price breaks above the sessions. You know, maybe at some point I'll play around and figure out another strategy for you guys to apply here. Because I know there's a way to identify when price breaks sessions and then continues to push to the next area of sessions. There's just a lot of areas here to follow through with. Yeah, I'm always looking for new strategies, guys. Not that the older strategies don't work, but there's always going to be new strategies to use, especially with these K2 indicators. I can kind of see patterns here to play out, trading from session to session. Maybe it'll be like a session to session strategy. Always looking for new ways to make money with you guys. There is, you know, the possibilities are really endless, guys. If you guys can see patterns here, like I can kind of see right here already, certain patterns to catch it to the next area of sessions right there. That'd be a nice prop for like 1,000 pips. I'll figure it out. I just got to play around with the charts and see when these patterns appear. Let's see. Sam said FDA authorizes Pfizer COVID booster doses for kids ages 5 to 11. Oh, damn. Thanks, Sam. And also Walmart down 9% due to earnings. Yeah, that would be that would help our drop here because Walmart is one of the They're one of the bigger market cap stocks here in US30. You can see right here, it's down pretty heavily. Nice. Yeah, I think for so like that session to session strategy that I was just referring to you guys, this is probably something that we can put together on the higher time frame. It looks like a 10-minute strategy. It looks like it works pretty nice actually. So something like this right here. So you can see that price, breaks above the session, pushes to the next level. And then something like this right here too, when price breaks below. Because yeah, this session to session strategy, like for example here, this session to this session right here, that's a pretty big push. It's like 1,120 pips. And then again, right here, like when price broke above it, it's kind of one thing that we got to figure out is where to put the stop loss, and TP. But yeah, it's another 1,000 pips right there too. I'm like kind of curious now, like, well, how could we do this? We can even use the automated TP stop loss and lot size. Yeah. So maybe we'll do this. Maybe we'll start doing signals again. Psych. I know so many people keep hitting my DM. They're like, hey, Sean, when are you going to do signals again? Never going to do signals. But this could be a good signal strategy. I mean, I could probably give out signals for this because like this is what we could do typically. If we have an overall bias for a sell here and we have this breaking and closing below it, I can just do the automated TP stop loss right there. That's kind of too big. I don't know if I would do that. I would probably maybe set it up like that. Maybe put this at the previous swing high, something like that. Because this thing here, I mean, it works out pretty nice. We can probably base like, stop loss at the swing. And then maybe when price gets near here, you can probably move your stop loss in profit or something. I don't know. It's something I got to play with, but I could see it working. So I'll figure it out. And when I figure it out, I'll let you guys know. And then we can take that as like the longer move. I know, Maddie, right? Yeah, I know. I still get DMs from people every day, like people who were in K2 a long time ago when we used to do signals. And they're like, hey, Sean, are the signals back? And I'm like, no. And I tell them like, just go to the live sessions. And they were like, no, I don't want to go on the live sessions. So that's their loss. But yeah, I'm probably never going to do signals again, guys. It was just too much of a headache for me because a lot of people wouldn't follow directions. And I know the signals will still hit, but it was just too much of a hassle for me personally, giving out signals. I know. Yeah, I know everyone would want them back, but probably not. All right, guys. So anyways, back to the chart over here. You can see where price is kind of rejecting from. It rejected right off the liquidity right here. Price might drop further though. So a couple of things to like keep in mind here is like where price is rejecting from, right? Price kind of broke below. So price broke below the sessions, came back for a retest, rejected right off the sessions, and there we go, price drops lower. One of two things will happen here. Price will either continue dropping or it'll fake out and come right back up. So that's kind of what I'm looking for at this moment. Nothing specific, but here again, there's like another sessions below here. So price might come down and test the sessions right here as well. And there's also another pivot scalp right there, as Maddie mentioned. I do find it to be a bit risky because it's right at the session. So, I mean, it's not one that I'm going to be taking. I'm just being really careful today, guys, with the Dream Trap Tuesday and all that. Technically another pivot scalp. I think it might have hit TP already. I don't know if it did. close to it. It's just risky because it's like right at the sessions again. I don't like trading on the sessions. I try to tell you guys that as much as possible. So I'm probably not going to take it. It's just another red flag for me personally. Oh, it already hit TP actually. Maddie, you're right. So my bad. It actually did hit TP right there. So you got to be quick if you guys are taking these pivot scalp entries because they happen too quickly. Right there, it hit TP and then now it's coming back up. All right, so it's too late to enter that anyways. Just a reminder, guys, we haven't taken like any other trade so far this morning. There just hasn't been anything that we've been able to take because everything just, it either happens too fast or there's just something there causing, us not to take the trade or kind of influencing us not to take the trade. So red flag or price is overextended, or there's just a lot of stuff in the market that's causing us not to want to take something that's too risky. But if you guys are following these, then you guys can do, you guys can do perfectly fine catching these, but you got to be quick. You got to be in and out. You can't be holding on to it for too long. Because then everything can go real far south if you don't. Anyways, back to let's see, Charles said these signals were cracked. Yeah, Charles said those signals were cracked, but this is better. Only 1.5 hours of trading and done. Yeah, and I agree with you too, Charles. I much prefer doing live trading with you guys because we don't have to be on the charts all day. We can literally just take our profits and then call it a day and rinse and repeat tomorrow instead of having to be on the charts all day. Because before, when I called signals, I was trading on the 4-hour time frame, so I was on the charts like every 4 hours, which was kind of annoying. Having to pull up my charts and then look for trades and call trades, and it's just too much work on my end. So that's why I'm probably never going to do signals again. But other than that, guys, it's 7:55 right now, so it's getting really close to 8, and I don't really see anything coming up. So if you guys have questions, feel free to put your questions in the chat, and I can answer whatever questions you guys have. If there's anything that you guys need help with, just a reminder: our mentoring session is going to be tomorrow at about 1 p.m. So about an hour earlier than our normal time. If that's an issue for anyone, just let me know and we can push it back to the normal time at 2 p.m. But I think 1 p.m. should be fine. I think a lot of people just want to knock it out, get your questions answered, and then go on with your day. So no mentoring session today, but it will be tomorrow. We're doing that in accommodation for Kurt. I don't think Kurt's here right now, but yeah, Kurt asked if we can do that on Wednesday. So I don't see any entries here available, guys. There's nothing on the 1 minute, nothing on the 3, nothing on the 5, and nothing on the 10 right here. So I don't really see anything for me to take, nothing for you guys to take either. I think it's about time to just call it a day and then come back tomorrow to reset because I don't really see anything right here. Let me see if there's any news coming up today. You got Powell speaking at 11. So if you guys want to trade later today, I'd be careful with Powell speaking. Price is probably going to swing back up. Okay, so this is kind of what I see happening. See how price is like way down below? And you guys see how there's a lot of liquidity up here, right? So probably later today, we'll see a correction because Powell does speak around 11. I mean, it doesn't happen anytime soon, but sometime around 11, we'll probably see price swing back up from now until then, hit liquidity, and then come back down. It's typical move. So just be careful if you guys are deciding to trade from now until then, because you're going to see a lot of people try to buy the dip. Because whenever Powell speaks, price just goes up, right? For no reason, price goes up because everyone thinks it's a good thing that he's speaking. Because whenever he speaks, you're probably going to see some push to the upside. But overall, I do think price can come back down. The main identifier to identify a price is going to keep dropping is retail sentiment. Just keep pulling this up. If you see that net long is like, if it's net long like 68%, 70%, et cetera, then price is probably going to come back down overall. So other than that, guys, I don't see any questions here. So if you guys have any other questions, feel free to email me, message me on Telegram. But other than that, we'll be back tomorrow for the next live session, and we'll continue on with the week. And then we'll have our mentoring session tomorrow as well. So if you guys have any detailed questions, if you guys want me to cover any strategies, any entries that you guys took that didn't play out perfectly, Same for the mentoring session. We'll cover them then. Go over some examples, help you guys understand things that might be confusing for you. But I guess other than that, guys, have a great rest of your morning. And I will see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. So see you guys till then, and I'll catch you guys on the next live session.